Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, never any bullshit on this channel. So I just got back from the mountains. You're at work. Ding dong, the witch is dead, or is he? Look, first of all, I want to say this. You called Sports Talk Radio to talk about Elway, and what did they tell you? What was it? Yeah, and what else did they say? They said, you don't get paid for this, right? That's why we need to listen to you, Colby, and not that asshole. That guy needs to shut his freaking pie hole. He doesn't know what he's talking about or refuses to talk about what needs to be talked about. I started this entire channel. It was a monument to get Elway out of the way. With that said, I believe this. I'm very skeptical about all of this. Very skeptical about all this. Why? Number one, who do they have to go see when we start bringing dollar signs? Okay. Well, we're going to sign. We're going to sign this player here, say Fangio, for this amount of money. Oh no! I don't. Who's got the final say on spending the coin on these players? How would you be able to use that to decide to do two things? One, give yourself insulation. No, we can't spend money on him. Why don't you go for this player for this amount of dollars? Did we really go anywhere? If Elway's back there with the purse, with the money, like a traffic cop, okay, this goes, you come over here. You see what I'm saying? In an intersection. Mm-hmm. Say we want Jordan Phillips, okay? Oh, no, we can't pay him. But here's Hot Tub Time Machine. You can bring him in. I'll sign off on that. So while this looks like a victory, well, obviously it was obvious there. Elway was the finger was being pointed directly. Elway couldn't get around it. So Elway, in my opinion, has found a way to get around and still be. Is he really not going to meddle anymore? I'm very skeptical about that. The Carolina Panthers just fired their GM, and he seems like a totally Elway kind of, are they going to get their kind of guy? You know what I'm saying? Who out there wants to come here thinking you don't have an owner? Right now, the Carolina Panthers have an owner, and they're looking for a new GM. So I think Carolina, we really need to pay attention to who they're looking at. There was a guy named Peters you like. But with the bridges are already burned. Mm-hmm. So, do we just have to wait for Elway to really go? Is this just more smoke and mirrors by the Bronco by John Elway?
So to piggyback off your point real quick, I was super excited. I sent you the voice messages, but then when I heard about John Elway's, I listened to John Elway's press conference, and if you read between the lines, he says that they're going to have to answer to me. So right there, I think that he's still going to be the meddling owner. I think that we're going to go hire somebody that's a yes man like Vance Joseph was. I think
it's just more insulation in front of the problem. Yes.
So right there, I was super excited when the news broke because I thought he would retire and he was done. But then when he said he was going to only hold one title, which is player personnel, player operations, whatever.
Well, no, he said that he's not going to have any say with player personnel. I find that deceptive. I find that very deceptive because, and that's fine. Fangio, the GM, they can get together. And it's what he's saying is the right thing to do. But saying that he has no say in this, I think that's very deceptive because basically they're going to say, these are the players who won. Here's the price tag. Obviously you would go to Pat Bowlen to do. That's why we need an owner. You'd go to Pat Bowlen, but this is how I see John Elway meddling, saying, well, how about we don't get that player, but see, for this price, we can get this player here. And we're back to Elway as usual.
Yeah, he'll put his 2 cents in, and he'll be a yes man GM.
Well, yeah, because I'm not going to pay for that guy, but these let's work. What may happen is that important decisions, that's where it could get really hurt. Now, bulk players that could be up and coming type that Fangio and a good GM could pick, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe in that sense, you get a little bit ahead that way. But like we're saying, they've got to evaluate. Well, that's another thing we got to do. We said first, remember, like I said at the end of the season, first, it's clearing house. We got to talk about clearing house.
I want to bring up something. How freaking right are we?
No, yeah, of course. Of course.
I mean, I'm not getting paid to do this, obviously, but I
know, and we're not even. We are totally spot on this.
We've been spot on about the Broncos season, about this whole management shit, and you guys like to fucking sit up here and say that how John Elway's a god. What did I say? Look what happened this weekend. Okay, it was the perfect John Elway moment. It was the perfect ending, the cherry on top of the ending of the season. Now you call a timeout with the Raiders scrambling. Who do you think called the timeout? Oh, but it's all Fangio. And then what did I say? There's already reports. I said the main target was Adam Peters. Now, when I heard that press conference, it's not going to be Adam Peters.
Of course not.
I want it to be Adam Peters so bad because look what he's done in San Francisco.
No. You're not going to get that.
Nope.
I think you're getting a shell game here. I think you're getting an onion layer being put on. You're seeing an onion layer being put on. And you guys can decide, but they're going to have to decide first of all how to clean house. Get rid of a lot of Elway's garbage, like Casey and the rest of them. Then it's going to come down to here you got a list of players. It's really a price tag, right? It's what do you call it? You call it shopping, groceries, right? Oh no. I can't. And here's the thing. Hasn't John Elway been the king of just pissing money away? I mean, just throwing millions of dollars just out into the wind, with these picks that he gets.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to tell the GM and Fangio, I think that bringing in that player that you guys like at the price tag, that no. Let's try to work on getting this player at this price. Did we really go anywhere? And when they get their GM, we got to vet that this isn't some sort of a yes. I didn't like Xavier or whatever he was, or Xanders, that last idiot that they had.
Mm-hmm. Brian Sanders.
Yes. Is it going to be more of that? Is it going to be?
I've been hearing John Dorsey and Thomas Dimitroff. I think those are guys that will be perfect because they have big egos, and I think Elway's going to go for a big ego type, but a yes man type. So, I mean, I don't think the pendulum has moved at all. I think that what you're seeing is Elway trying to duck and cover, like you brought up. But I just want to say something here about this channel. We sit here and we tell you every fucking week that we don't put out bullshit. And how right have we been?
Well, spot on.
We have been spot on everything, okay? I mean, this is ridiculous. I specifically said that the GM of the Denver Broncos is going to be a yes man, and I believe that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a yes man GM that ultimately, he'll be a new name, fresh name. Everybody will be excited, but you're going to see these moves that make no sense, and that's Elway.
See how smart Elway was. It was Fangio all along. Fangio, be careful. And you should come out and say, we wanted certain players that was, we were told we had, we got this leverage. Now this is the way it should be handled. Elway comes out, says, here's your budget. You can get rid of players. You can bring, and this is how it should have been with Elway. Somebody should have went to Elway and said, this is your budget, Elway. You can't be pissing money at Middle Lake Watson. Okay,
Oh,
hot
God.
tub time machine over
Donald Stevenson.
here. Yeah, all this stuff. Okay, you got a budget here. Okay, he never had that because Pat Bowlen basically in the mine passed away, so he never had to deal with that.
Yeah. Yep.
But in all honesty, he should just come out with a budget and say, "This is what you got. I'm stepping back. Whoever you get, but this is the number." That would be fair. That would be fair to him. This man's at work, so this is an emergency session. So but I'm just saying, be very skeptical.
I obviously you heard my excitement, but when I heard John Elway's press conference saying that he is going to be in the decision making of the Von Miller thing, that right there told me that he's not going to change.
Well, that shows you right now he's full of shit.
Yeah, he's full of shit. He if you read between the lines, he's full of shit. So at the end of the day,
well, unless there's one thing I'll say in his defense, there'd be one way that if they were on the phone together and they said, "Hey, before you go, John, I want you to be the one. You be the one. I don't want Fangio. This falling on Fangio." I could see Von Miller saying, "I'm going to give you a deal. This is between me and you. This isn't between some other guy. I'm the number one guy on this team right now with the number one contract. And you've got to be the one to either keep me around here or you're the one that shoved me off. I don't want Fangio being blamed for if I end up going somewhere else because you're not going to follow through."
So I think what you're going to see in these next few days, I think if Adam Peters is hired, Chad Kelly, et cetera, those aren't Elway people. If one of those guys are hired, I think they will have the power of this roster. If you have the guys like a John Dorsey, a Dimitrov, or a guy that you brought up that was in Carolina, those will be the yes men. You will clearly see the difference between a yes man GM and a GM that Fangio picked that they're saying that he's going to have say in this GM search, which is total bullshit. But the reality,
he's looking for a Vance Joseph.
That's what I said. A yes man. A yes man. I just want to say this too. I just want to bring this up real quick. Side note. If you didn't hear anything I had to say, me and you were both called out by Cody Rourke. I just want to say this to them right now. You go back and watch our videos. I specifically said that Justin Simmons is in a top 5 safety. Am I wrong about that?
No, you are not wrong.
I'm not fucking wrong about that. So they didn't mention our name, by the way, but they mentioned, this media outlet. Okay, we all know you're full of shit, Cody Rourke. You stop sitting on your ass. Stop protecting fucking free runners in your little fucking world. Stop sitting on your ass. Get off your fucking ass and actually do something and actually provide truth. Because I specifically said that Justin Simmons isn't a top 5 safety. Is a top 10 safety? Absolutely. But I will never give him top 5 money. If you watch the game again this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Rourke, if you're going to give him top 5 money, you and Elway need to sit in the same seat together.
Thank you.
I'm going to be with the Bills. I'm going to be with the Kansas City. I'm going to get a different type of mindset here in the Broncos. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Cordy, if you want to sit with Elway, you guys just sit together. I'm trying to bring a winning organization here. And I have nothing but praise for Cody Rourke. I do. I like a lot of what he does. I know you have problems. I've had an issue with some of his stuff.
I don't like him.
This is the thing. I think that anybody that breaks down, I like that people are breaking down film, and I support that. But I am not going to support bullshit. I will not support bullshit. We want the best. I don't care about is he a top 10 or what. I want the best. We're talking about you don't have to pay the safeties. I agree with your analysis. We don't have to pay these top safeties. Okay? We have safeties that can do just as good that are out there. They're just as good. And you don't have to pay them as much. And we can spend that money somewhere else. That's what we're talking on this channel, Rourke. It's not just about breaking film down. It's about how do you put pieces together and how to build on those pieces. You take a little bit here, add a little bit there. I'll tell you what. Anybody that supports the free running, and they were talking about that. I think in the Raider game about free runners coming in. There's a distinct difference. Where was Harris in this game?
Can I put something out?
Where was Harris in this game?
He was out. Harris, your golden boy. Can I just say something real quick about this? I was the first person to bring up in the Denver community to pull the fucking guard. None of you were talking about I mentioned it. Until I mentioned it.
Did Cody Rourke? Did you quote Cody? Cody, did you mention?
Did you mention that shit, Cody?
Did you mention that they need to do that? Where were you? Where were you?
Where were you? Where were you when this guy was trying to bring up the free runners and he was challenging you on it and you were defending that shit?
Yes, and we have commentator after commentator said, "What's going on here? This is unacceptable football." What we have, you know what it is we have people that think they're one quarterback away. They're just one quarterback away. Do you realize you have a 5-11 football team? You do realize that, people, right?
No, they don't, because they didn't grow up in the Pat Bowlen era. These losers out there, the likes of Cody Rourke, Patrick, who called me out, you motherfuckers are sitting up there and spreading the same old bullshit like I've been saying for years. You are not going to – you want to come at me? You guys can't even hold my fucking jockstrap when it comes to film. I've been right on everything. I said I was right on the fucking Simmons thing. I was right on the fucking pulling the guard. I was right on the offensive line and defensive line. You were the first person to bring it up in the channel, by the way, but I wasn't on the channel to start it, but you were the first person to bring it up. And he was the first person to bring up the fucking free runners. Before you sit up here and have your little Coca-Cola sponsors and your fucking little shit, we don't get paid to do this shit, and we're right on 90% of the shit we're talking about.
Why did Elway have to put a layer around him, another layer around him? Because you could blame us because nobody else. You have this thing with Cody Rourke. I have this thing with Sports Talk Radio. They are getting paid, and they can't talk about the biggest problem, the elephant in the room, which was Elway. They hang up on anybody, not just you. They hang up on anybody bringing up the real problems of the team. Oh, don't discuss that. I'm just saying, people, there's more of you out there than there is all those Sports Talk Radio. Go places that know where they're talking. Go to the places where people know what they're talking about.
Our channel's grown, by the way.
Elway had to hide. Elway had to do this. He had to make a move because he decided to be the GM, the head coach, all that. And I'm not going to let that go. He's the one that wanted to do all that, okay? Sports Talk Radio will just don't talk about it's Drew Lock, it's Fangio, it's everybody else. It's Vance Joseph, it's everything else.
Dude, this is Yeah. You clearly saw this past game, the offense and defensive line. Okay, the offensive line played a better, but it's against one of the worst defenses in football.
It's one of the worst defensive lines in football.
Thank you. And then our pass rushers, Draymond Jones. Oh my God, he had a coverage sack. Oh my God, our linebackers were exposed. Justin Simmons was exposed.
Again,
Motley was exposed.
Here's what's funny is that the announcers talk about it. Oh, they don't hate the Broncos. They don't care. They don't care either way. I mean,
this franchise is a joke.
Never give a shit about the Raiders. Why would he care about them? Who was the announcer was it the Charger game, right? That said that what's up with these linebackers?
Yeah, exactly.
So how come the people breaking the film down can't see what everybody else sees? Everybody else around the league sees.
And who does that ultimately fall on?
Well, Elway.
Thank you. Who was keeping these personnel players? Who was hand tying Vic Fangio? Who was hand tying? Exactly. So for all you fucking Cody Rourke STR feel good shit, oh my God, Elway had the greatest career. These 5 years have been shit.
We're 5-11. What part of this equation can you not wrap your little brain around? We are 5-11 for a reason. Not because of one guy throwing the football. There's one guy at the office, and it all trickles down from there.
And you said that Jerry Jeudy had a fucking comeback game? He had a 92-yard that springboarded that whole fucking game for his yardage. He got his carries. He fucking carries.
He made his quota. I want to. That guy is kind of being. Do you notice kind of a player? The players aren't really jiving with him.
He's a whining little shit.
Do you notice though that the players aren't really digging him? They don't really like him. That's what I'm noticing. Anyway, I want to talk about that Judy pass. It's all Locke's fault. Everything's Locke. Oh, that
was a perfect pass by Locke.
But wait a second. Locke isn't the issue. See, this is the thing. That was a catastrophic failure by the Raiders. It's not that there's a problem with Locke. There's a problem with Broncos pass pro. So Locke in about 3.5 seconds, if even that, right? So they had the catastrophic failure. They brought two defenders to pass rush. Barely enough for our offensive line to handle.
Yeah.
But he had actually time, and that wasn't all day. He had reasonable time to complete a pass.
And look what happened.
That's what I'm saying. The quarterback
see that shit.
I can guarantee you, if I'm constantly running free runners at Tom Brady, he is not going to be able to do his job. He will go to John. I'll tell you what, Brady would have been upstairs in John Elway's ear had he had this season here with free runners.
Yes.
He like me. He's not going to put up with that.
And I just want to say this about the whole thing about how everybody had. This is another thing that's really pissing me off. This whole notion that if you don't have John Elway in your top 3 of all time, you really are going to put John Elway ahead of Pat Bowlen. It should be Floyd Little and Pat fucking Bowlen. Rest in peace, freaking Floyd Little. Okay? This is just a side note. He is the reason why this team is still in Denver, you idiots. So
they don't understand. No, they don't. They don't. Yes, they have no clue about that. That the Denver Broncos were going to leave the city, and Floyd had to go door to door to get everybody to vote to keep the team. They that's totally so far out of their universe.
Yeah. But going back to being called out, I love it because you know what? You're actually fucking bringing people to your channel. But 90%, it doesn't matter. 90% of the time that me and you talk about the biggest issues in this organization have been fucking true. If you think that Justin Simmons is a top 5 safety, because he won Walter Payton of the Man of the Year, and he's been the Darren Williams thing, and he's a guy that you want on and on. I'm not saying that Justin Simmons isn't a bad player, but you guys want to pay him the fucking bank load and forget about the other fucking issues.
That's the problem. The problem is that they think these, like Harris, for instance, he's better than he really is. Okay, that's how or Chubb is worse than he really is. That's the problem. The problem is you got to get the right player personnel. I think you said this, and I felt this was that we let Malik Jackson go.
And
I believe he was the hub that really got the wheel to work.
Thank you.
And that's what you need to do. And that's what some of these other teams do very successfully. It is so the thing is, I'm not trying to get rid of Simmons because I don't like him. I'm looking at the dollar signs.
You're looking at the bigger picture.
I'm looking at a much bigger picture. Yes. I'm not myopically looking at each player and falling in love with them.
Can I just say this? Is Justin Simmons right now a top 5 safety from the plays that you've seen on
No.
If you can't wrap your fucking head around that, Cody Rourke and Patrick, what the fuck are you watching? Because when I'm watching the fucking game, that interception wasn't him. Darren Waller fucking didn't catch the ball and went through his hands. That Justin Simmons gets credited for that because of what Darren Waller did. But you guys are going to sit up there and forget the tackling angles that he does, the missed tackles, and then the fucking the coverage issues that he has.
Yeah, I call that MIA, missing in action. Missing in action. Yeah,
so, exactly. So now, then I'm segueing back to the John Elway thing, and STR and the feel good shit. You're going to see 2 things happen here. and it's gonna decide these. This GM is probably gonna be here.
Looks like we lost the connection with you.
Past Elway.
There you go.
We just have to.
Hold on a second. You'll have to say that again. Go back to the beginning about the GM. We lost you.
You're going to see two things here. Then I have to go. You're going to see an Adam Peters or Chad Kelly type thing, or you're going to see John Dorsey or a Sprina or whatever his name was, a Reese or a Jerry Reese or something. You're going to see two things. You're going to have a yes man, or you're going to have a Vic Fangio guy. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm very skeptical of this stepping back, because just for the fact that they'll all have to go through Elway to get the final price. The price, the price is right. Come on down, be our next contestant. They'll have to go through Elway. He'll have to vet everything. I just think it's disingenuous to say that that's not going to happen. Yeah. When we know, and you said even in the press conference, there's hints of that already.
Yep.
Outside, there was a presser released. Okay, blah 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 blah. But the press conference itself, in between the lines, it's not exactly going to be hands off. So
yeah.
So of course, like I said, the bottom line is I think they're trying to get this thing set up for ownership.
Yes.
And again, who's going to be picking the owner? That's going to be the question too. You've got to go, and this is me just coming back from the high country, so you're kind of going in.
Yeah, I got to get back to work here.
Yeah. So. Thanks for coming on and giving me the heads up with these geniuses out there that couldn't see.
We could talk more. We could talk more about it tomorrow. I could get on if you're ready to go.
All right. So take care.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.